The quokka, a small marsupial native to southwestern Australia, has charmed the world with its round face, bright eyes, and what looks like a permanent smile. Often referred to as the world's happiest animal, the quokka has gained global fame through photographs, social media and travel blogs. Yet its story is far richer than a cheerful expression. Measuring about the size of a domestic cat with soft brown-grey fur and a compact, sturdy build, the quokka belongs to the same family as kangaroos and wallabies. It moves with an endearing hop and is also capable of walking on all fours, which it does when feeding or exploring slowly. Its fur is mottled to blend into the dry scrub and low vegetation of its habitat, and its rounded ears and dark, expressive eyes give it a gentle, approachable appearance. Though their smiles are simply a result of facial structure rather than emotional intent, these expressions have played a large role in their popularity among humans, especially since the rise of the quokka selfie trend. Quokkas are nocturnal herbivores, feeding mainly on grasses, leaves and succulent plants. Their ability to extract moisture from food means they can survive long periods without drinking water directly, an essential adaptation for living in regions where water sources can be scarce. During the day, they shelter under dense vegetation to avoid the heat, emerging in the evening to forage. Quokkas have, a rather unique digestive system that allows them to recycle nutrients by redigesting a special type of fecal pellet. It's quite fascinating, really, a process similar to that seen in rabbits. Most wild quokkas today are found on Rottnest Island, a small island just off the coast of Perth, and on Bald Island near Albany. These offshore populations thrive partly because, you see, they are free from introduced predators, such as foxes and cats, which have unfortunately devastated mainland populations. On the mainland, quokkas live in isolated groups, mainly in swampy or forested areas where they can find dense cover. Historically, their range across southwestern Australia was, much broader, but land clearing, urban expansion and the introduction of non-native predators have sharply reduced their habitat and numbers. The arrival of European settlers in the 17th century marked the beginning of these challenges. When Dutch explorer Willem de Vlaming visited Rottnest Island in 1696, he mistook the quokkas for large rats and named the island Rattenest, meaning rat's nest in Dutch. The name eventually evolved into Rottnest, but the misidentification stuck in early accounts. Despite their approachable appearance, quokkas are still wild animals and have specific dietary and environmental needs. One of the biggest issues on Rottnest Island today is the feeding of quokkas by tourists. While visitors often mean well, offering them bread, chips or other human food can cause serious health problems, including malnutrition and disease. For this reason, feeding quokkas is not only harmful, but also illegal, with fines in place for offenders. In their natural diet, quokkas consume over a dozen types of native plants, many of which provide both the nutrients and hydration they require. Quokkas are mostly solitary, but, they can be found in these loose groups, especially where food is plentiful. They breed just once a year, and females usually give birth to a single joey. That little one develops in the mother's pouch for about 6 months before it finally ventures out. Like other macropods, quokkas have this remarkable ability to delay the development of an embryo until conditions are just right, a reproductive strategy called embryonic diapause. However, quokka reproduction has, let's say, a darker survival tactic. If a female is chased by a predator while she's carrying a joey in her pouch, she may actually eject the young, creating a distraction that allows her to escape. While this sounds harsh, it is, in fact, a natural response aimed at ensuring the survival of the adult, who can, reproduce again in the future. In recent decades, the quokka has become a symbol of Western Australia's wildlife, attracting thousands of visitors to Rottnest Island each year. Tourists are often surprised at how comfortable these animals seem around humans. While they are not domesticated, the absence of natural predators on the islands has made them less fearful, and their natural curiosity sometimes leads them to approach people. This has resulted in the viral popularity of quokka selfies, with celebrities and travellers alike posting smiling photos alongside these marsupials. However, wildlife experts urge visitors to remember that quokkas are still wild creatures and that respecting their space is essential for their well-being. Conservation efforts for quokkas focus primarily on protecting their habitats, controlling introduced predators, and managing tourism. On Rottnest Island, strict rules prevent the introduction of foxes and cats, while native vegetation is preserved to provide food and shelter. On the mainland, wildlife corridors and predator control programs aim to give isolated quokka populations a better chance of survival. Research teams monitor population sizes, health and breeding success to guide management decisions. Public education campaigns also play a vital role, teaching both locals and tourists about responsible interactions with these animals. Climate change, well, it presents a whole new set of challenges for the quokka. Rising temperatures and changing rainfall patterns can, really affect the availability of the plants they rely on for food and water. In those hotter, drier years, quokka populations may suffer from reduced reproduction and, unfortunately, higher mortality rates. Conservationists are studying how these changes might impact future populations and whether interventions such as providing supplemental water during extreme conditions might actually be necessary. In indigenous Noongar culture, quokkas hold a place of respect and are recognized as part of the land's natural heritage. Stories and knowledge about quokkas have, been passed down through generations, reflecting a long-standing understanding of their behavior and role in the ecosystem. Today, this cultural connection is being incorporated into conservation and ecotourism projects, creating opportunities for visitors to learn not only about the animal itself, but also about the broader cultural landscape it inhabits. While the quokka's smiling image has made it a global icon, its continued survival depends on much more than its charm. The species is currently classified as vulnerable, with stable populations on Rottnest and Bald Islands, but much smaller, fragmented groups on the mainland. These mainland populations are especially at risk from habitat loss, predation and environmental changes. The public's fascination with the quokka can be a double-edged sword, bringing attention and funding for conservation, but also creating risks if interactions with humans are not managed responsibly. You see, the challenge for conservationists is to maintain a balance between encouraging people to connect with this unique animal and ensuring that such encounters do not harm its health or behavior. It's a delicate task, really, one that requires both passion and precision. The quokka's story is, a reminder that wildlife conservation is not only about protecting species from extinction, but also about preserving the integrity of their environments and respecting the natural processes that sustain them. From its mistaken identity as a giant rat centuries ago to its modern role as a social media darling, the quokka has journeyed through changing landscapes, both literal and cultural. Quite the fascinating tale, isn't it? For those who travel to see it in its island home, the quokka offers more than just a photo opportunity. It offers a glimpse into the delicate relationship between humans and nature. Its smile may be an accident of evolution, but the joy it inspires has the potential to fuel real-world action for its protection. If future generations are to enjoy the sight of a quokka, hopping across a sandy trail, or peeking curiously from behind a bush, the work of protecting its habitat must continue. By safeguarding the islands where it thrives, restoring mainland habitats, controlling predators and educating visitors, there is hope that the quokka's story will remain one of survival and coexistence rather than decline. In the end, perhaps the true reason the quokka is the world's happiest animal is not its smile, but the fact that with care and effort, it still has a chance to live freely in the wild landscapes of Australia where it belongs.